Steal the Snapfire's kit. That's always nice to have for the Rubik. So even the Earth Spirit's pretty okay. So you've got a lot here for Neon to play with. What I do want to see is like the Schem hero. They don't have, well, they could still go for the Chen, but I'm not particularly sure if they want that matchup now. Still there in the pool if they wanted it to. And again, this is a big test for both sides because Neon has had up and down performances. Among Us has been solid, but everyone mentions just how sneaky Neon can be, so they might be the team to pull off a win here.
It wouldn't surprise me. If there was any team that I would pick to surprise Among Us, it probably would be these guys. They aren't taking many chances, though. They bring out the Naga Siren now, so things are looking very, very serious between these two. Of course, the Naga does very well up against the Lifestealer. Nice direct counter towards the Lifestealer here in this draft, and that's going to leave one pickup for each side left. And as it stands, John, as far as Among Us goes, it does seem like they are missing a Cuckoo hero. Unless he's going to play off-lane Snap or off-lane Naga, which is highly doubtful. And for Neon, they are lacking what appears to be either a Yopaj hero or a JG hero.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting one. I think Neon made the right call by banning the Centaur. Cuckoo just loves last picking that. Would have been really nice with Naga here. Don't have the option to go into that. Still not really sure what you're looking for. I think the lineup's already pretty hammered in. Maybe we'll see, I guess a Mars is pretty okay here if you want to just go for the team fight. I mean, you've got this classic combo, Naga Disruptor. This is something China used to like as a region. In fact, I believe they still do every now and again. Dip into the Naga Disruptor. So we know what it does. Setup is great for your team fight now. Got the follow-up with your Snap. With the Earth Spirit, even with the Magnetize. A lot going on there. Neon, you mentioned it with the Lifestealer, but the spell immunity here going to play big, although the song can still be pretty darn good control. The issue here is the Lifestealer does not deal with those illusions, so that's really the biggest cause of concern. But when it comes to that magic damage, the Lifestealer can stand and fight. So it's a bit back and forth in that core matchup. We'll see what Cuckoo plays. It's going to be the one that sets the pace here for Among Us.
It will. Last pickup, minute 51 of reserve time left. And for any viewers out there, I kept my promise. I asked Whitemon why he kept hitting Roshan prior to the 1 minute mark. But he continues to tell me it's a secret. He won't reveal why he does it. He said if he told me in lobby, then Neon would know. And he doesn't want Neon to know what he's up to. So I'm trying to get it out of him. He won't tell me why he does it. We'll find out another day, I guess. I'm just gonna privately message Savage. I'm gonna be like, Savage, look, you gotta tell me what's going on. I need to know why he does it.
Yeah. It's something that Among Us just loves every time. I'm sure they'll do it again now, or they might not, just to really pull a sneaky one on you, Mike, because you asked. They might just not do it anymore because of that. You know?
I have a feeling they will, John. I have a feeling they're not planning to stop because of me. Still Among Us, they do finish off with the Beastmaster, so that should be the Cuckoo offlane hero. He did not have the option for the Centaur this time around, which is perfectly fine as the Beastmaster does do very well up against the Lifestealer. Obviously, the Raw does not care very much about, your BKBs and your Rage and things like that. Neon now, they need their last pick. And right now, it is very single target focused from Neon, I want to say. I feel like they are lacking just a bit of team fight here. So you do expect something that can have a bit more crowd control. I mean, you already have the tiny Rubik, but you still want a bit more than that. See what they do pick up. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Skem Chen
Ooh.
should be the deal here. So what's this Lifestealer doing then?
No, I think Januel Chen? I think
No, it's not
yeah,
Skem
it's
Chen.
still a
Okay.
Januel Chen. Alright. So Scam Lifestealer, still straightforward. The Chen will enable this team fight for Neon. So still lacking crowd control as you mentioned, but they've got the sustain to bring the fight to Among Us. We'll see if they can maintain that momentum. Gonna be a very back and forth lineup for both sides. Cuckoo, of course, it's his birthday, and he did tell us yesterday they wanted to go undefeated. So there's no messing around here. We'll see if they can bring it out. Neon, they're a hard team. They've got these combinations with the Lifestealer. They've got some pretty good ways of running down early, actually, that you might have to watch out for from Among Us before Kiernaga's pretty big. So that's going to be the timing for Neon. Just play around while Savage isn't quite ready to go. Try to melt some towers with the Chen creeps. Try to take as much off the map as possible before Among Us get too big. So it's gonna be a great back and forth just from drafts. Always fun watching Among Us and Neon. Both teams just having a lot of promise in them.
Yeah. See how this all goes. Should be a fun one between these two. See if Neon can do it. They are obviously Neon. They were tweeting out that they've got a hard matchup up today, up against the side of Among Us. The hardest matchup, you'd say, up against this team. They do want to take a game off them. That they are looking for the win. I don't know how this draft's going to go, but could make it happen. Could be a very, very tense kind of match.
Yeah,
I expect it to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth here. Like again, Neon, they need as many wins as possible to climb up into the fourth place spot, the last spot for the upper bracket. There's a lot more pressure in Neon to just win it out, and for Among Us, it's just a matter of I think it's just a matter of keeping that undefeated streak. So it's not really something too heavy for Among Us. They've got a sizable lead that again they can't drop anymore. They're just basically first. So the pressure's all on Neon. This is the kind of team that delivers in these high pressure moments, though. And there's a lot of fate here on the line for Neon. So we got to bring it out today. Still Among Us, they're pulling this play they love. They camp the triangle. There's no smoke play, but you know what White Bonds can do.
Here we go.
Come on.
Why? Why does he do this? He's breaking there goes the trees again. He's breaking the trees. I'm really trying to figure this one out. I don't know if Whitemon's just trolling us this whole time. Okay, he goes to the right side now. Doesn't break those trees. So walk to the other side and get rid of those trees now. Alright, fair enough. But what the hell's the point?
I don't know. I can understand this one forward tree right here to give your ward more vision down from the ramp, but
Sure.
everything else is just is kind of, I don't know, just Luigi things, I guess, as Savage would say.
He's actually named himself Luigi as well, Whitemon. He's got the tag there on his name now. So there you go. We still don't know why he does it. I've found zero answers, and I'm pretty sure he's just trolling us this whole time, but he'll just keep doing it, and we'll keep wondering. Neon Esports, they're going to have skin up at that top lane with the Lifestealer. Looks like they are actually bringing JG up, so they might do a bit of a lane swap. So they probably don't want to be laning that Lifestealer up against the Naga, but now Skem going to be rolled on early on by Jabs and Whitemon. That's a lot of damage out. Jabs, they won't be able to finish the job, but they will force Skem to run back, in fact, TP back to the fountain. And I guess you can have the Chen to recall you back into the lane, and they are probably going to bring Skem down to that bot lane now as JG will take the top.
Yeah, it's time to swap out. That was just not what you want to see for Neon, but this is what you expect from Among Us. They like to play like this. They don't relent minute one. Still, you've got the offlane Viper now, along with the Rubik, so play hard. And JG, they've got some options to play with. I think they've got a lot of good damage here. You've got level 2 in JG. They can kind of apply that pressure, but they don't care here.
No, they don't. JG, copying some damage. We'll be alright. They're going to keep up this tri-lane from Among Us. Have a look at that mid lane though. Yopaj is going to be up against Arbed. We have that mid snap Pyrogram out of Arbed, and he does perform extremely well on this. We'll see if Yopaj can do much about it. Obviously, Snapfire is a bit less of a tanky hero. So Yopaj, once he does have a few levels in Avalanche Toss, should have some kill potential onto Arbed. But for now, they are just going to focus on trying to trade last hits. Not cop too much damage from each other.
Yeah, I think if you're Abed here, you're just really looking for a smooth time in those last hits. He does have a small lead over Yopaj, and that's pretty much all you want in Snap in this case. Yopaj, you know, if he doesn't find a way to close that gap, then Abed is just going to be able to take over. Of course, you maybe start to look at the supports to help you out there. And speaking of those supports down,
play hard. Oh, play hard. He was looking for the Fade Bolt, but Jabs fogged him out. He almost had the first blood. He literally just needed to press the Fade Bolt on Jabs, but Jabs kept going in the Fog of War, so he couldn't get it. Oh, that is such a shame, and they turn around and get the first blood on him instead.
Yeah, it's a good time. I mean, Among Us, they're making this tri-lane work.
Oh, and he gets flips back as well.
Yep.
Oh my, that's... It's always, at the start of the game, people forget what Disruptor does.
Yeah, it's painful. That's going to stall out a lot of time here for Among Us and just allow them to get that pull. So they're going to get that steady EXP gain now, although they're pinging Savage's solution. Yeah, got to move that away still. That tri-lane paying off massively. Even Savage still finding the last hits against JG. You'd expect the Viper to be that lane dominant here, but it's not shaping out that way. Without the help of support to zone out Savage, he's just perfectly fine finding those last hits. Now, you do have the same situation for Skem. And Cuckoo can only do so much on his Beastmaster to counteract the Lifestealer. But it is a little bit better down bot than it is up top. And Cuckoo on the Beastmaster, he can just clear out the camps every now and again. He can just maybe get a push going as well. But you don't have the same effect with a Viper up top.
No, you don't. JG, he's trying to fight back up against 23 Savage, and it's just a very, very hard thing to do right now on this tri-lane as Among Us are not really giving him any leeway to try and shut down Savage. Back to that mid lane, and you are going to move in with Yopaj, but not really going to get too much done. He'll just stack a camp and secure the power rune at that 4-minute mark. Arbed's going to go for it, and roll in is going to be there from Jabs, but the rune's up at the top lane where you have Whitemon already guarding it. However, they will keep up the team fight. Jabs getting low to that Avalanche Toss, but you might lose your Page here. Arbed, he wants to chase the kill, but he's been slowed down, so he cannot get it. That is a nice play out from Neon Esports.
Yeah, really sweet little win there. Does give Yopaj a bit of a better start. He was lagging just slightly behind Abed. Just finding that kill gives him a little bit more of a boost. Still, he has to leave that lane. The Playhard's got to soak up. That gives Abed a lot more room to find those last hits. And you still find yourself even in the kill board. 1-to-1. Can be important for Neon to maintain that Yopaj lane. The Tiny just needs it to ramp into that blink really fast, especially when you've got heroes like the Chen and Lifestealer here. You need that momentum from the Tiny to carry you through.
We hit the 5-minute mark. Bounty runes are going to spawn up, and Neon, they'll take both bottom bounties, and Among Us will grab the top. Both teams just keeping their gap between each other, just trying to get that farm up still. I've got to say, Skem is having a very, very nice time in terms of CS. 35 and 14, but it is hard to keep up with the Naga Siren once you do hit that mid-game state. And Savage, of course, is still freely farming. He's only 3 last hits behind the Lifestealer. It's going to be a major concern for Neon if this keeps up. It is going to get very, very difficult to slow down Savage in about 5 to 10 minutes. So,
yeah,
it's problematic.
It is, but I love what Among Us is doing here as well. On top of that,
Paj.
they're also shutting down that front.
Trouble. Mortimer's Kiss is coming, but he does close the gap, so Abed can't actually continue using them. Cookie's going to miss, and Yopaj. Those are some great jukes out. He will survive the 3 heroes that came into that mid lane to gank him, and he will also get a haste rune for himself, and he's going to try and turn back around on Jabs. Get Jabs on the Earth Spirit. He has the mana, he has the HP, he's going to loop around, and no, he might go for the courier instead, but gets spotted. He runs into Whitemon's courier, turns back around, gets that. Cuckoo goes down bot lane, and now the avalanche toss. He does kill off Whitemon. Jabs now missing the roll. Yopaj still in the run, but a nice cookie out from Abed with the scatter blast. They do get him. That was a very nice attempt, though, from our Tiny.
Really big. I'd say that's still a big win for Neon. He got more gold there. He's getting more EXP as well. Again, the lane matchup wasn't going great anyway. You are starting to look for kill opportunities to snowball off of. And with that, you know, Neon, they go 2-3, less than 1k lead. They switch out the positioning of Scam here as well. They toss him up top lane again as Savage works his way bot. So seeing those safe laners switch lanes just to get their steady form. And Among Us, this is a bit of a slower start for them. This is not quite what we're used to seeing. Neon really bring that fight out, maximizing Januel's presence. He's been an absolute monster on this Chen, just making work happen in mid and forcing those responses every time.
He has. He's going to get some more XP up on himself, though. They are going to rely on this Chen to really be able to put even more pressure on once you get into that mid game. And he's still sitting at level 3. And because of these rotations mid, he hasn't been able to farm up himself, which could be a slight cause of concern later on, because you are really relying on him to have those double heals up and allow you to start pushing down those tier 1 towers. But now, though, he's just going to continue working towards the mech, and both teams, once again, will just sit back, relax for a bit, and find a better time to go for big fights. Gotta say, though, Skemmy's going to have a Deso up soon, by the looks of it. Is that a Deso? No, the Maelstrom.
Yeah, it's going to be really fast timing just to help him deal with those illusion spam here and even the creeps that come out. It's going to be very important for him to get that machine gun off, and it's going to be a really good time for him once that's up. They are still playing a slow game here from Neon. I mean, it's not that slow, but you haven't really managed to hunt Savage down. That's always going to be the point of concern.
Lift it up. Yopaj going to go for the avalanche, looking for the toss back, and does get it, but now Jab's going to roll straight in with the cookie out from Abed. Scatterblast going to do a lot of damage. They cannot finish him off. Skem, he TP'd in just in case, but he will not get there in time. And so far, these two teams are both holding their ground, and we are having a very even game for the first 9 minutes, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's been a lot of pressure from Neon. Their focus really has been mid. That's where they've been throwing their heroes. That's where they've been really focused with the plays, with the kill opportunities. I think you do worry a bit about how Savage is doing, though. Like, your lifestealer's keeping up, that's great, but you don't want the Naga to really be at this level. This is Among Us's win condition. We talk about it every time, but Savage is what they build up to. Savage is what they hold out for. Abed takes a much more sacrificial role, so even if you're kind of sacking mid a bit here for Among Us, if it gets Savage space, you're fine with that. And that's why I think this situation, 1k lead for Neon, still a good start for them, but they need to start punishing Savage.
Oh, mid lane, who they got there? It's going to be Play Hard, but he's not dying yet. Scatterblast to come out. Abed looking for the angle, but now JG. A good rotation, but an even better glimpse out from Whitemon. He will save the life of Abed. But Genuine Yopaj going to fly in and actually get a free kill onto Jabs. So they even it out. 1-1. They'd love to get a bit more, but Yopaj doesn't seem like he's going to be able to catch up to Abed. They're going to go for those 10-minute power runes, but Abed does manage to bottle it with the cookie. He does get an arcane rune. Yopaj on the chase will not be able to keep up. Abed will be alright.
Yeah, they did manage to get the runes as well, so that's 3 bounties being taken so far by the side of Among Us. Can be a nice little boon for them having that additional gold. You still are having good time here from Neon, but we haven't seen either side go for the towers. We are at the 10.5 minute mark, so you usually expect a team to make that move. but neither side have been really willing to commit. And this is both teams having a Beastmaster and a Chen each. So times are not quite lined up, but they are playing much more focused on those kills, and that's what it seems they're going to be posturing around for, although they do finally clump up bot here for Neon.
I mean, they've got the Sage creep there. It's about that time. Then Yuan will bring his creeps in on the Chen, take care of the creep wave, and on the side of Among Us will do the exact same thing up in that top lane. Start setting up that tier 1 tower. Shouldn't be too hard to take out with 23 Savage around on the Naga, and they have 2 smoked. Just in case the defense is going to come out from Neon, they might even run straight into Skem here. Skemby's about 100 gold off that Maelstrom being completed. He does not want to die right now. Looks like he will avoid the gank, but the stacks are going to be taken by Among Us. And Skem has now been scouted by Whitemon. Jab's going to roll in to set up, but Skem quick reactions out with the Rage. Expecting the rotation, and now JG going to be there, but the glimpse out from Whitemon. Once again, Jab's still alive and might just survive as they don't have the damage through the Viper Strike. Neon still coming in. JG going to be brought in by the Chen. Yapaj does actually kill off Cuckoo on the Beastmaster now, but Arbet is on the case. Will cookie out on the Snapfire. Yapaj wants to keep up this chase, hoping for a toss back into JG, but he is a bit low on mana, so instead he'll toss JG into Arbet, but he's going to get a haste rune. So Arbet is going to be able to walk out very easily. In fact, he's going to go back for a cookie now, but a Roar out. Play hard. He stole the Roar back onto the Snapfire, but he's running away. Now the Magnetize out from Jabs, trying to hold them back. And Neon, can they at least get one? They do get Jabs, but they will give up Play hard in return. JG just wants out, but Cuckoo is going to get the Roar off in time, and they're going to have to give up the Viper. Among Us do get the positive trade in all this, a 1 for 2.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. You can see both sides does not want to give away those early kills. But now with those kills, they start to line up mid. Savage is around for this push as well, although Scam TP's in to help with the defense.
Be dangerous, cookie out. It's there from Arbet with the Scatter Blast, but that's going to be the end of that. So a slight net worth lead, just less than 1k. In fact, it's less than 500 gold right now for Among Us. Which with the Naga Siren, I suppose you can be glad about if you're Neon Esports. The fact that it's only a slight net worth lead. Skem is doing a pretty darn good job of keeping up here on the Lifestealer. Just about 1k behind Savage. But they do have to be a little bit wary of the fact that that Naga is going to become a powerhouse the later you go into this game.
Oh, for sure. You have to play this one a bit quicker for Neon. They've been trying. Again, we've seen constant aggression coming out from them. They do have some key items up now as well. So Januel, he's got his 6 and he has the mech and the Chen. They've got options to really out-sustain Among Us in a fight. And I think that's what they have to look for next. Probably just waiting out for JG to maybe finish a Hood of Defiance on top of that as well.
But Savage has got the Manta up now. More illusion spam coming out from our Naga Siren. I didn't mention this in the draft, but Savage did say on that Cuckoo stream that it was 496 and Neon that are the most annoying to play against, in his own words. So he finds them very, very kind of chaotic to play with.
Yeah, and they have been. You know, they've been camping mid. They've been all over the map. Their movements are just so different, especially in this game. It's coming out, that eccentricness. So it's been putting Among Us on the edge, and they've been a bit behind and just not having that lead we're used to seeing from them still. More items coming out here for Neon. Yapaj, he does have his blink on the Tiny, so they can start setting up with a toss place, start bursting some heroes in the back line. This lines up perfectly with that mech pickup on Januel. You can start forcing some early fights out once more if they wanted to, but probably need a smoke to make that happen. But the options are starting to open up here for Neon if they really want to slow that Naga down.
Oh, 2 bounty runes each. The smoke from Among Us going to lead to nothing but the bounties. They were hoping that Neon would go for the top ones, but they don't. They do go for the bottom bounties instead.
Hunting bounties.
Gabs roaming around that dire jungle, seeing if he can spot anyone out, but they are not there.
We've got a bit of an interesting build-up here for Among Us. It's an Ags rush for Whitemon. So Not going for
Ooh.
mech, not going for any utility, just straight up AoE Doom coming out for our Disruptor. It's going to take a while, but we see this from Whitemon tons, right? He just kind of stays back, stays quiet, suddenly comes out with an Axe, and every support hero who plays, that's going to be a big spike for the Disruptor once that's up. It's going to line up with Abed's Axe timing as well.
They've
So
got
you've got to
vision there.
watch this.
That bot lane, they spotted out Play Hard, and they are going to go ahead and commit for the Rubik kill. Skem is around as well, but he has gone the other way, and of course is not going to risk going, or is he? He's going to go for farm. It looks like he's confident that without the roar up, they can't actually kill him. Of course, he does have the Infest to run away with, and he will remain in that bot lane. And Among Us, they don't even bother wasting their time going down bot. Seems like Among Us do want that mid tower to really open up the map now for this Radiant side, and well, they are halfway through it. It is a bit challenging though when you have JG there on the Viper, who's just going to spam Nether Toxin and not really allow you to get the creep wave to that tower.
Yeah, I mean, the stall tactics are good for Neon. The issue is the stall is also helping Among Us a ton. We talked about the Ags timings coming in. You also have to be concerned about Savage. He is just one ultimate orb away from a Scotty. So it's going to be really tanky on the Naga with that up. It's going to be harder to focus him down.
Mid lane, big smoke up here from Neon. Jab seems to be somewhat aware that this is happening. Does avoid the smoke, but that mid-tier 1 tower is going to be under siege now. Neon, they're not going to back off. Play Hard, may get caught here. He's out of position. Cookie, not going to land. Yopaj jumps in with the avalanche toss onto Abed. They want the snap by first, and they might be able to get him as Abed does go down to Play Hard, and now you can take the team fight. In fact, they just want that tier 1 tower, and that's what they'll go for. And there will be no defense out from Among Us. In fact, Yopaj, another great toss out, this time catching Whitemon. That'll be 2 for nothing. Yopaj. Great setups there from the Tiny.
Yeah, and that's what we were looking for. With the blink up, Neon, they can jump the back, they can punish these heroes. And Among Us, they got caught with their pants down, not ready for that item reveal. So Neon, gonna be glad, and they don't have any ults to wait for. They keep
Not
going.
done. Yeah, avalanche toss. Jab's gonna survive, and now Savage, he's had enough. He'll put him to sleep and set up to go after this Tiny. You do have the double heals out from our Chen though. He's just holding on for now. Yopaj running away, but Jabs will roll in. Trying to get the silence off onto the Chen. And for now, everything's going well. They got Yopaj in that static storm, and Play Hard and Yopaj both die. But there goes Jabs on your Earth Spirit and JG. Trying to fight back with Skem. They want to win this team fight. So they'll go after Cuckoo now on that Beastmaster. He is low, but not low enough. They'll lose JG instead, and now Neon. They've gotten a bit greedy. They need to back Skem. He'll infest and he'll run. It's going to be a 1-for-3 trade in that last team fight. Among Us should be able to perhaps go after that mid-tier 1 tower now.
And they've got the option to do so, and you can see Neon maybe a bit too keen. Really good turnaround there from Savage for the song to set up. And Neon's got to be a bit cautious. I mean, again, they're not waiting around for big ults beyond their heal from the Chen. So once they respawn, they could potentially go once more, knowing that the static storm's down, knowing that the song's down for a bit longer. But there is fight potential here from Among Us. And Savage, he doesn't mind that kind of fight. Even if he loses a couple of teammates there, your Naga is still getting bigger. And that's the target Neon has to grab. It's always nice to get Abed, sure, but the win condition's going to be that Naga Siren. And that Scotty we were talking about, it's going to be flying in now. He's got the gold. So Manta, Scotty, Treads up at around the 20-minute mark. Pretty good timings here for Savage in this game. He's going to be going into the Abyssal next. So he's going to have that control that you love to see on the Naga. Neon, they've got to maybe start focusing on the Naga Siren when they can. Just burst Savage down and try to take that Naga out. You can easily clean up the following 4v5. Without the song to set up, it's harder for Among Us to punish Neon's clump up, but Abed, it's got the Ags up.
Uh-oh.
The initiation's there.
Yes it is. And that might mean you toss Savage in, it might mean you just toss Cuckoo in for an easy roar. Who knows who the target's going to be. In fact, they're going to rush for a Roshan play now. They're feeling confident. They've got a 2k net worth lead, and that might be enough to be able to win out the team fight if Neon do realize this Roshan's happening. But it doesn't seem like they do. They have no wards around, and that Roshan is going down a bit too fast. means the side of Among Us will be taking the first Roche of the game.
Yeah, and that's something Among Us can just take so quickly. They did get a scan out here from Neon, but they didn't commit fast enough. They've got to be ready to jump that Roche as it happens. When they lose a big objective now, you've got a safety net for Savage. They are smoked up, though.
They are. They still want to go for this fight, and this is the unorthodox thing about teams like Neon. They don't like to back off, even after the Aegis. They'll go after Abed. Abed, he has a haste rune again, so he's just going to run away. Now the glimpse back onto Yopaj with the static storm out. He is trapped up. He'll try to TP, but the ensnare's going to be there. Still in the back lines. They're still trying to fight Cuckoo. Meanwhile, Playhard does dive at Yopaj. He will continue to survive on the Tiny, but perhaps not for long. There's your Infest in from Skem. It's just not doing enough. They'll get the Tiny, but now Skem. He's going to try and fight back. They'll get jabs. Now onto Savage. That'll be a big kill. He has the Aegis. He has the song, and he will not allow it. He'll walk away. Can they catch him? No, they cannot.
It's a pretty good fight for Neon, all things considered. 2 for 2, forcing buybacks out in your pause force, trading a mid for an offlane. Not ideal, but you did manage to force Among Us to use that song defensively to take away that piece of kit. And again, Neon, they don't have to wait for any big ults like that to fight. They can easily just go back in once Yopaj responds. So Among Us has to be ready to weather that storm. But they've got a bit of an opportunity to maybe shove that in mid tier 1. Issue is, you got the fort out, you've got the defense once more, and Neon still clinging on to that objective to give themselves that map control. But Among Us, they are smoked this time around.
Well, there's a gobble up onto Savage, in onto JG, and JG. He's going to be surrounded by illusions, but they have TPs coming in. They want to try and help, but there goes JG and Skem. He's been roared up. He's going to go down. Oh, I love these Snapfire plays out from Among Us, and now they even found the Chen, and this is when they get started with their momentum. Among Us, it is going to be hard to slow them down now.
Oh boy, it's a 5k lead, 23 minutes in, which is not massive, but the way Among Us plays is, once Savage is ready to go, they are ready to go. They are all set to keep running at you. You look at Savage's build-up, he is actually just going for a Bloodthorn instead. So raw control, raw DPS coming out for Savage once that's up. Still holds on to the Aegis. That's got about 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to it. So a lot of time to keep finding more objectives, forcing in some tier 1s. Neon, they've got to play on point with Yopaj. They can't allow themselves to sit back and farm too much, because they're going to lose a lot of ground. If you allow Among Us to rip through your towers like this, you're going to have a hard time finding some farm, finding some control on the map. Because Among Us tends to play fast once Savage is good to go, and, well, he is, basically. You know, the Naga's in a very good spot to keep fighting now.
He's got the Orchid up now. A Blink Dagger coming out onto Abed. Well, Neon, they've got to find an answer to all this. Their lineup does not exactly go that well into the late game. Unless they can hold long enough for Skem to farm up to that 9-slotted stage, maybe then you've got a chance. It has been a close game up until that last team fight. See if they can try and even it out now. They are still grouped up. I don't see any smokes to come out. They're just remaining together as there are strength in numbers. The only problem is they are going to be locked into their own triangle now, and the rest of the map is going to belong to Among Us, and Savage can farm the whole map on that Naga Siren, so you don't necessarily want to allow that to happen if you're Neon Esports.
No, definitely not. And it's down to a matter of control. It's down to vision as well. And you can see Among Us, they've got these great wards watching that top jungle. So it's perfectly safe for them to be there. I mean, Neon, they ward their own triangle. So they've got a place to farm safely for them. And they do manage to get progress on Skem. He's got Mjolnir. So there's more damage coming in on our Lifestealer. More ways to eat through those illusions. You have to start wondering though, because that gap from Among Us, it's growing wider as the game goes along. 7k lead now for Among Us. And there's just not too much progress being made here by Neon. They've got a bit of a faster draft. They need to start finding some kills soon.
Uh-oh, looks like they spun out the Chen. John Yuol going to go for the TP play and actually is going to make it out. They won't spot him. They'll just take his creeps. That'll be it. Gets out and forces a lot of rotations down towards that bot lane. Yopaj, meanwhile, what's he up to? He'll skip the creep wave, and that courier from Savage, tree throw, is going to make it. That was the Bloodthorn.
Ooh.
So that is a decently big deal. Savage didn't really have the Hyperstone up yet anyway, so it wasn't going to be finished. But he probably will have the Hyperstone before the courier is back up.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup for Neon. You're going to be counting your blessings, and they're playing it smart, right? They're still trying to stall. They're trying to make the most of what control they have on the map. Among Us haven't been able to fight bot.
Uh-oh, there's your Mortimer's Kisses. Savage does run into the Chen. I mean, Genyor does just melt to the damage of Savage. And everyone else from Neon just want out of there. They probably get they can't really defend the tier 2 mid now, especially with Playhard also going down. And Savage, he's onto JG. JG not expecting to go that far, but Savage, he is pretty farmed up right now and feels very confident to make those kind of plays.
I mean, he's about 6k above the next hero to him, so he's at a good point in terms of net worth. There's just not enough here from Neon to stop the Naga now. 8k behind. Skem has a lot of work to put in. He does have, again, he's had Mjolnir, he's had Heaven's Halberd. Maybe you get a good disarm off on the real Naga, but now you've got the problem of having to find that real Naga, and that can be harder than looked. So you really need to go back to how you were playing earlier. It was all about Yopaj coming in with the toss kills. They've kind of sat on that now, Neon, but you start to look at them to really get that combo off. You just need to find some key pickoffs, and they could start to maybe turn it back their way with a couple of nice kills.
10k net worth lead. Among Us will continue to extend that lead. Again, they just control the whole map. You got Whitemon now with the Aghanim Scepter up, which is going to make life a lot harder for Neon. As he has that, the BKB now comes up on Yopaj. So if Yopaj is caught in that Static Storm, there's no BKB to be used. But they're going to try and smoke and get the initiation off onto Among Us. But can they get it done? They're going to wrap around. Among Us are also smoked up in the mid lane. They'll see Naga Illusions, but that really means nothing. Among Us gonna hide in the triangle.
Oh, Abed.
Mid lane, they have caught out Abed. Alright, Abed does go down. Now Skem will go on to Savage. Yopaj BKB'd up, but the song is out now. He is still moving, but there's a nice Static Storm out from Whitemon with the Aghanim Scepter. Skem's still trying to fight back up against Savage. He's doing a lot of damage out. Can he actually get this done? They're going to turn back around. Jabs, he's getting too low, and Savage is going to go down on the Naga Siren. Oh, they've made it happen.
Neon, they got the big target first. I mean, when you take Abed out, there's no gobble plays, there's no kisses that can fly in, so the magic damage shoots down. And on top of that, Whitemon's Static Storm is only onto 2. They needed it more people in that specific fight. Didn't quite line up. In fact, it didn't even really catch Playhard. He just walked out. So not quite the reveals you'd want. Neon, they dragged the lead back. 4k swing their way. 6k lead now remaining for Among Us. Tier 2 being chipped off, and Neon, with that second shot in life, you can see Skem, he's feeling strong. He's got a Yasha up now. He's going into the AC, possibly the Manta as well. And once you've got that and the Life Stealer, he's going to be even harder to deal with it. The evasion here is giving Skem so much more durability because you don't have anything like the MKB, and you didn't have the Bloodthorn there to use out. So now with the Bloodthorn up and Savage, perhaps they can get the hits in on Skem, but with Heaven's Halberd and his talent, he was a bit too durable and too much to handle for Among Us.
Good scan out. They've got Cuckoo in that tree line. They know he's there. Cuckoo is going to send some Hawks out to get vision, but Playhard is wrapping around. Cuckoo, the 4-star in. He's going to try and escape, but Skem can't believe his eyes. He found the Beastmaster, and that'll be a very, very nice kill for Skem to take. They even get the Hawks on Playhard now, so they'll have plenty of vision. And there's going to be a song out from 23 Savage. But they are very split up right now. It's only going to be Yopaj in the Static Storm. Jab's going to get gobbled up and thrown in, but Yopaj going to try and fight back up against Savage. There goes your Static Storm. It's done, and Savage, he does go down on the Naga. Oh, Yopaj, he's hitting too hard with Skem. We'll get glimpse back. But suddenly Neon Esports, John, they are looking like the stronger team in all this.
Yeah, they're getting the trades off really well. They're punishing Among Us. Among Us not really lining their initiation up well. Again, they're just catching 1 or 2 heroes in the Static Storm, which isn't too bad, but again, they need more in these kind of circumstances. The spacing for Neon's way too good. Savage cannot get hits out. He just can't stand and fight, whether it be Skem, because of his durability, or even Yapaj is starting to look a bit too tanky. And with that, Aegis and Cheese towards Neon's way.
Hey,
Among Us, it's an awkward...
there's a cheese in the pit.
Yo.
Come on, guys, get the cheese. Did they actually forget?
Perhaps. That's like the second time we've seen the team do that.
There's a courier coming out. I hope it goes over the Roshan pit so they can see it. I believe they caught it. Just a glimpse of it. They actually forgot. They're so focused on trying to win this game that they forgot about the cheese. Up to the top lane, or bot lane, they have found out Cuckoo. Another nice play from Sken and Yopaj. And they are making it work.
Yeah, they're just ripping through now. Among Us, that lead is gone. It's down to 1k.
The courier went over it again. Has JG noticed? No. No, he hasn't. The cheese is just on the pit.
To be fair, even if a courier flies over, it's not like it has an icon. So someone has to be watching the courier as well. It doesn't look like Neon just forgot. So there's going to be a nice treat there for whoever checks out Roshan next. You'd hope it's Neon, because they're the ones who get still. You never know. Maybe Among Us takes a peek. You know, Jabs might take a look. Yeah, there you go, Jabs.
Oh, he rolled right.
Yeah, there's the ping.
They saw it. White one's like, wait a minute. Someone watching this replay from Neon Esports is going to get very upset about that. Let's hope it doesn't come to bite them back in the bum a bit later on. So, Savage going to focus on pushing out that top lane now and trying to force them back on the side of Neon Esports. But Neon, they're not backing off. Skem, he wants to try and force the bot tier 3 tower. Not to be intimidated. The TPs are now coming in. Savage, he has a song, but no, there's a lift out from Playhard. Savage needs a song ASAP, but Yopaj, he has the BKB out in time. Savage is going to die again. For bot lane, they have at least got Januel on the Chen. It just may not matter. It's a POS 1 for a POS 5 trade. You couldn't be happier if you were Neon.
Yeah, it's a big win for them. They managed to punish Savage once more. Savage, he needs a BKB. It's not quite flying out fast enough. And that tier 3 is pretty low though. It's only at 100 HP, so I think Among Us is not too upset. It would have been nicer if they actually did take the objective, but they are starting to drop some kills that they're really not supposed to. Neon, finding holes in the playstyle of Among Us is really making it the difficult one. They're keeping it close in network. They've got the pressure on the map. All outer towers gone here for Among Us. And you can see Scam, he's going to be even tankier. They've had issues melting him. With the AC up, it's going to be even harder to keep this life stealer down. And even his level 25 talent can be up fairly soon. Either the Rage or Feast lifesteal, but are going to be great.
Play hard. They got Cuckoo again, John. He's on that Beastmaster being lifted up. Cuckoo, he can try for the Raw, but Abed, nice gobble up.
Oh.
He will save the Beastmaster. He gets the tip. Very nicely done.
It's getting scary though. You just can't go out anymore, get the control off. They need some defensive wards here in the triangle for Among Us. Maybe some Hawks out as well. And just to get that information out. Neon, 18 to 18, 34 minutes in. This is the closest we've seen a team bring Among Us to a game. You know, this is very even from both sides. Among Us...
Did you point out the Ags on the Tiny, John?
Oh, yeah, no, I forgot men, but he was building it up. So you've got it now. The damage is there. Daedalus next.
Oh,
They are going for the right click.
I love the tree volley Daedalus. We have had so much fun watching this back in the day. It is so much damage if you do target it right. And up against the Naga Illusions and even the Beastmaster Boars, they don't survive it. Like, there's no chance of survival if you are caught in those tree volleys. It's a lot of damage.
Oh, it really is. And now, if you've got multiple issues for Among Us, they've been forced to choose between Skem and Yopaj. It's it's so difficult to really find a right here to go for, and you can see Neon, they're just so confident now. Showing up in all the lanes, it's Among Us that has to play super safe, hiding in jungle. The high ground can easily be accessed now by Neon. They don't have too long on that Aegis though, about 20 seconds left.
Did you see Dota Plus? It was at 90+%. Now it's back down to 53 for Neon. It's a huge comeback out for the Neon side. And Among Us, again, they don't want to go undefeated. They really want the undefeated streak to be out. But Whitemon now going to cop the tree volley. It's a lot of damage, but Arbed will save Whitemon's life. Now the roar out on Skem, but he will invest and run. That tier 3 tower about to drop. The repair kit not doing enough. There is your song out from Savage now. He needs to walk away from JG, but they will lose the tier 3 in Yapage. Again looking for a tree volley. Gonna throw it out towards the fountain. Cuckoo almost goes down to it, but not quite. But they are gonna be able to get 1 Rax for themselves. How the tables have turned.
Yeah, just off the back of Yapage's place. They're just catching Among Us down. They don't have Aegis, but they're just so durable. It's so hard to get the damage off. They got to make some choices here, Among Us.
Oh, it's looking bad. They've got to try and get a good team fight going. Whitemon, he's waiting for his next... he actually has his static storm up. He just needs a good position for it. Savage doesn't have the song to set up right now, and Skem, he's just whacking away on that tier 3 tower, and they just don't really have a way to initiate here. More tree volleys. Whitemon almost goes down to them. Does survive, thanks to the Glimmer Cape from Jabs. But that's without that Daedalus up. And now Arbed with the cookie, gonna stun up Skem and buy him some more time. Skem, however, back into that tier 3 tower. Jabs gonna roll in, has found out Yopage, but he has the spider legs and will run away. The Mortimer's Kisses not gonna do much as he does pop the BKB. Looks like that's enough for Neon. They've used up that BKB on the Tiny. They need to wait out a bit of a reset. And he gets a Timeless Relic. That is very nice for Yopage. But he's going to give it to somebody else. Probably the Rubik.
Yeah, it's been really dominant for Neon. One lane up, Among Us. They just need so much more in Savage. He really needs that BKB to be up. It's going to need the Abyssal next. There's no room to farm it safely, though. And that's the biggest risk right now. You can see Abed. He is going for the right click on that Snapfire. So it's the MKB next, just to pierce through that evasion. They need all of these items to be up as fast as possible, and you can see Among Us, they're just farming safe, clearing out the jungle as best as they can to find some tier 4 items themselves. And they're hoping for some good ones here to keep it in, but Neon, they've just got control of the triangle. They're just going to play here. They're going to wait for someone to overextend, and they can get some really good punishment out. They've just got... the entire map is their oyster now.
Heart of Taras is going to be up on Skem very soon, and when that heart is up, you start to question how they're going to get through the HB pool of Skem. Even with that AC and Heaven's Harbor, it is making it tough for Savage to get through. But they do get Yapage's Daedalus recipe, and that's a big deal, as he was just about to have the Demon Edge. So that's going to save them the pain of the Daedalus for about 4 minutes. Meanwhile, Savage, he's been trying to deal with the creep wave down to the bot lane, but is not able to get it. Well, now their mid-Raxes are exposed here for Among Us, but they will continue to hold high ground.
Yeah, and this is where Among Us' draft does shine. High ground defense is pretty darn good. They've got the Song, they've got the Static Storm to play with. There's so many options for Among Us to hold, and they're just going to stall out. I think they've still got some confidence here with their Naga and with a Snap and how it scales into the late. Just, you're always sort of worried about how Neon's also farming up. Like, Skem's farm is still keeping up with Savage. You see Yopage finally overtake Abed as well by a good amount. So the cores of Neon are going to definitely be having a better time now. The sustain coming out from Januel is a major issue, as we don't have a wave.
Lift up, they caught Jabs. Cookie gonna be there. The tree volley once again, not gonna land. Jab's gonna roll back in onto JG. They want to try and go after this Viper. He'll activate the Magnetize. Now Cuckoo looking for a target with that Roar. can't find one yet. He will roar up JG onto the Viper and Savage going after Play Hard, but there's the hills coming in with the tree volley back onto Savage. They'll go back to the Viper. JG tanking so much, but there's your Static Storm out now, out from Whitemon. They'll get JG, but he'll buy back onto another. Arbet gonna spit out Savage to get him out of there, but he's gonna song up and come back in. In fact, the gobble up was stolen by the Rubik, but it did not make it in time. And we do have a quick pause out from Play Hard, as it appears Dota has bugged out. And of course, Dota was having a bit of a lag issue just before we started this game number 1. Looks like they have sorted it out. But Among Us, that team fight, they do win it. They do force a buyback from JG on the Viper. It was a very close call, however. Could have gone either way.
It's way on the line for Among Us. They have to play on the bleeding edge to really eke out these wins. Neon, they do still have a 4K lead despite the buybacks. They're feeling good. They know that Among Us, when the song is down, it's a very scary spot for them to fight. And there's that heart you mentioned on Scam. So it's going to be harder to lock in that lifestealer. He hits so much harder as well. And they've got control of the Roche pit. Like, there are some Hawks keeping vision, but you've got to fight in here if you want to get that objective away.
Well, let's just hope they don't forget the items this time, John. Hopefully, Scam does realize it's 3 items instead of 2. Gobble up. They are going to spit a creep in for vision. Jabs going to roll in onto Play Hard, but Yopaj going to toss it back now into JG. Jabs just going to roll out of there. Savage going to roll in now. Raw is going to be out. They have caught Scam on the Life Stealer. That's the big one. But the stun is not going to last very long. Arbet getting Viper Strike through the BKB. But the glimpse out from Whitemon is going to make sure they can't chase Arbet. So instead, they'll go after Savage now with the lift out from Play Hard. They've got control. That lift is a very long duration. And the tree volleys going onto Savage. He can't get out of there. Yopaj does kill him off. And the chase will continue. Whitemon trying to leave, but Yopaj going to toss him up in the air in celebration. There'll be a glimpse out, but Scam even getting jabs on the Earth Spirit. And it looks like they will not get Whitemon. But it won't matter too much. They can go back for the Roshan pit.
That's the wins that Neon wants. They punish Savage once more into the pit. This is a clear Aegis, Cheese, and Refresh coming out for them. You can see how much more Play Hard does with that Timeless Relic. Like, that lift duration is just sickeningly long.
Oh, I thought they forgot it again. Sorry, John, you were saying?
the lift duration coming out on Play Hard with that Timeless Relic is a bit too much. Like, Savage just does not have room to breathe. His BKB is getting shorter and shorter. Among Us, they've got to clean these team fights up. Their high ground's going to be under siege. You know, Buyback and Savage, they're just going to have to lose one set and potentially drop another as well. It's not looking clean. The Daedalus is up on Yopaj. The damage from the tree tots is going to be so much more as well.
They really don't want to lose this undefeated streak Among Us. They've made it very clear that is what Cuckoo wanted, and he is the birthday boy, John. But how do they make it happen? They're getting megged now. It's a tough one to defend. They're going to try with the Mortimer's Kisses to buy time. Scam onto the Millie Barracks. We'll go back to the creep wave, but he wants those megas. Still Yopaj now being ensnared up. He wants to get out of this with the BKB. He'll go for the avalanche toss. They have caught out Play Hard, however. In the tree line, he will be the Rubik to go down. And he has the Aegis. I didn't even realize Play Hard was on the Aegis. He will tie, but they got megas. Now the song out from Savage. Static Storm is going to be nice. Onto 2. They can rip him apart now. Savage does a lot of damage out onto JG. They'll get the Viper. Back onto Scam, but the tree volleys going to fly in from Yopaj, doing so much damage. Arbet's in trouble. Cuckoo trying to run as well. They might not have enough anymore. Savage is still trying onto another. The Chen just not dying. Now does go down. It's a triple kill out for Savage, but Scam's not done. He wants that Naga Siren. A great man to dodge onto the glimpse, but the TP is going to make it in time. Savage will survive. And why does Play Hard have the Aegis?
They might have been clicking a bit too fast, and you know, everyone probably forgot to move their items down again. But it's costly in a way. It's still not a very successful defense for Among Us. Mega creeps are in play. So it's down to Savage and Abed to try to shove this one out as much as possible. Cuckoo as well. It's an uphill climb now. Neon in the very clear advantage, having the objectives on the map, having control. You can see Scam really just being so hard to deal with. Even Yapaj with the damage he brings out. He's got a DD bottled up as well. So you do not want to run into that Tiny right now. He's going for a second Daedalus. I love seeing this.
Oh, I love
Just
it.
going all in. It's just the damage. You just want to burn them down with the artillery tree top.
You know the manly way to do it, Don, is to just buy a Divine Rapier. It's much easier. Naturally, you don't want to throw this game when you're in the lead by this much for Neon. Savage is going to hold out. They are going to try for the comeback and to hold the undefeated streak.
Oh man, it's a hard game to bounce into. I mean, you can see Abed. He's queuing up the Divine on the Snapfire. He has the 25, so it's
One of those
It's all about
games.
the Lil Shredder. Yep, it's all about that. If they can get that done, then you've got an opportunity there for Among Us if you can get to that. There's still a lot of farm remaining for Abed to get there. Neon, they don't even have it queued up in the Scam. It's just so far ahead.
got the-
Second Daedalus once more.
He's got the MKB up already. Just that Divine will make it so they will dish out a lot of Snapfire damage. I look forward to it, to say the least. I always knew, John, that today, like, when you saw the teams matching up, I always thought it was going to be pretty close between these two. It's, you know when you get those feelings, those gut feelings, when you know a team can just fight back up against this team of Among Us.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
And there's a smoke play here. Neon, they might be a bit impatient. They want to go for the kill.
Try, lift up. Gonna catch Jabs out with the tree volleys, and Jabs, he barely survives with the Yules out. Still, will go down eventually. Now, Cuckoo gonna get chased down by Skem, but they do kill off Play Hard on the Rubik. So it's a 1-for-1. Jabs is brought back, and now they might just take this fight as they roll in. Jabs, but the tree volley gonna kill off Cuckoo and Arbet. They're both down without buyback. Now Savage is caught. Toss away, but the GG's called. Neon, they have taken game one. And Among Us are no longer undefeated. What a tree volley up from Yopaj.
They played really well here, Neon, winning out all their lanes, having the matchups they wanted, on point, and that is why you banned Chen out. It just enabled all of that movement from Neon. Among Us, and they're trying to play that Savage game. The Naga, not quite being able to hard carry through. Neon, they put that work in, Mike. They pull the upset. We'll see if they can keep that momentum up in game number 2.
We'll see if they can do it. It's MLP, Dota, and John X Fire. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the next game.
Ooh, that's life.
Second game of this best of two series between Neon Esports and Among Us. It is, of course, MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, what a game one it was. Neon Esports, they pulled off the victory and saw on their Twitter, John, they did quote, if it bleeds, we can kill it, or something like that. It was a pretty nice quote. They are very happy about the game one win. Still Among Us. I've never seen them so quiet in a lobby before, John. They've been very vocal in the lobbies, and this time they were dead silent. So I feel like we're about to see a very different side of Among Us in this game number 2.
Yeah, I mean they showed up, Neon. Game number 1. Yapaj is tiny, set the pace. Skem just farmed like a madman, and Among Us could not close that gap. So I love that they've corrected the draft now, though. They banned that Chen because Januel Chen is too much. It's too much sustain. Even if it's not Skem, Januel plays a mean one. And it just enabled Neon to stay alive so much. Playhard was not dying. And they just could not find kills even in the sports here Among Us. So take out that tool. Really different opening here from Among Us as well. They go with the Magnus into a lifesteal. So going for that combo straight off. They don't want to have to worry about any sort of control with a lifestealer. They're looking to play maybe a bit more active with Savage here, just looking for a faster game to bring to Neon. Among Us played a slower game one. They were trying to build up in Savage. Didn't pay off. They're going to have to try to match Neon's pace here. And, well, the favorites, Mike, that undefeated streak, it's gone. That dream is gone for Among Us.
It is.
It's not a major blow, though, right? Like, they're still number 1.
No, they're fine.
But yeah, their morale might have taken a bit of a hit, so we'll see if they can bounce back from that here.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you might not get undefeated streak, right? But you're still looking to try and win the whole tournament. So,
yeah.
Let's not celebrate or anything too fast. We've got to beat them, we've got to knock Among Us out first if we're going to be that excited. But for now, Neon Esports, obviously they're fighting for their top 4 playoff spot, right? That's what they want. That's why they're trying their best here. They've only got 1 series left after this series, I believe. If I am correct, and I'm just checking. But yeah, I am. So after this series, you've got Neon versus Fnatic, and that's going to be their only chance to try and bring themselves up to the top 4 position where you do get to go to the upper bracket. Otherwise, they're basically locked in already for the lower bracket if they didn't make it through to the top 4 spot. Still, drafts continue, John. One final ban out, and we do get to see where they're going. I must admit, I do like the start from Among Us with this Mag Life Stealer. Obviously, they've gotten serious now. They're not playing around anymore.
Oh yeah, they don't bring out the Avid Snap, and that option's taken away. We'll see if this is going to be the Abid Mag, which we have seen him play a couple of times. There's some flexibility with giving it to Cuckoo as well, but Among Us tends to keep that Cuckoo hero last. So they're probably going to try to sneak something out there, maybe looking at the Scent once more because they just love playing around the Centaur and the timings it brings. We have to watch out for the jabs. Whitemon here is here. So we saw Whitemon again go for that Ags play. They lack sustain. Maybe not going as greedy this game. It might be to call out, but they start with a Rubik. So they're going for the spell steals here. You've got the Tiny to kind of take out. Even the Grimstroke spells are pretty nice as well. If you can steal Toss and hold on to it to play with the RP, that's one way to get your initiation off. But Neon, seeing that Rubik go with a Quap. So
Hmm.
they might be assuming the Magnus matchup, which is pretty darn good for the Quap, right? You've got the range advantage. You've got good spell uses out as well. Magnus can still sit back and farm, but it's not going to be a very free farm lane for the Mag. He's going to have to cop some hits from that Quap.
Yeah, absolutely. Fourth pick up here. Of course, we've got to give props as well. We're making a big deal about this whole undefeated streak being broken. I think God's tweeted about it, but it is super impressive, the fact that they made it this far with a temporary team, not training with each other, and getting that many wins in a row. Kind of unbelievable from Among Us. And I think for Cuckoo's sake, even though, yeah, he didn't get what he wanted, I think you have to be very proud of your team. I mean, that's a pretty huge accomplishment. You know, like it's.
Oh, for sure.
I don't remember any other team doing that apart from OG at TI, but even then they were together as a few at least. Among Us, obviously, proving themselves very worthwhile, especially in this SEA region where they are still at the top, John.
Yeah.
Ooh. What, John? This is one of your favorites. Tell me about it. What is this line pickup? What are we seeing?
Oh man, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing an amped up Finger with Rubik. I'm seeing aggressive plays coming out for Among Us. They're gonna have to look to make these lanes work, play as far forward as possible with line, harass out as much as possible with the impales, and try to play around a level 6 timing. So once you're 5 here, you will want to have a smoke on hand. Once you hit that 6 mark, you'll hunt for a kill. You'll take any kill at the line, and you play around that. So there's some good momentum here for Among Us. I love that Neon brings out the Beastmaster though. So they've also got the Roar into the Life Stealer, and they've got double Roar as well. A lot of value in that pickup, combines excellently with their opening, and it's shaping up to be another explosive draft up against both sides. The side of Among Us, outside of Empower and Cleave from their Magnus Lifestealer, your supports aren't going to do anything against the Beastmaster summons. So that's a point of concern for Among Us, especially if the supports will have to kind of stall a lane out by themselves. They're not going to get that job done all too easily. And Neon, they've got some really good timings here, Mike. They can play aggressively once more. We're just looking for the Scam Hero, I believe, down safe. We'll see what they bring out. It looks like they want to keep that pace up and just run at you once more.
Absolutely. Last pickup now Among Us. Just one more ban.
Radiant must choose.
We'll get the Ricky band out. Fair enough. Neon Esports.
There are a couple of good options here. I'd say a Jug is pretty darn good because if you're Match community, especially against the Lion support, so you're gonna have to be really fast with, say, a Hex to catch. Something like a Jug out. Your Healing Ward can sustain a Beastmaster push as well. If you wanted to go that route, might be a bit dicey into the Lifestealer. That matchup can go back and forth, and you are constrained by Omni. You're gonna need a pretty fast Abyssal to handle that one.
What if you just Naga Siren yourself here for Neon? I mean, I know you and I don't like the hero in particular. I'd rather not. I would prefer the Jug here, but it does seem like they could just go for the Naga themselves into the Lifestealer mag. Doesn't seem too bad.
I think they know how to play it though, because they just beat the Naga with the Lifestealer. Well,
right.
So I don't think they're looking at the Naga. I think Scam just wants to play pretty quick here.
Okay.
Like until Lifestealer, it's slightly tricky. I still think Jug is probably their best bet. Maybe no, Sven into Lifestealer is just asking for trouble. Although the armor helps, but it's still strength into Lifestealer. Not very nice. PA isn't too great, but again, there's that weird timing matchup with the Lifestealer PA with the MKBs coming in.
Yep.
And the timings between that, which you can play with Neon if you just wanted to run fast. Plays well with a Grimstroke, so you can kind of go in with the Inkswell if they wanted that, but they're really taking their time. I think Neon might pull a sneaky last pick here if they have the option to.
I suppose while we have a second, big shout out to Monster and Loopet for making BTS Pro Series Season 3 possible, and for keeping us awake, quite frankly. Neon Esports, they'll go for the last pick, Ursa, which is another nice pick into the Lifestealer and even the Magnus, right? You just, even the Rubik Lion, you don't really care for the disables as much, because you do have that Enrage, and you probably will go for the status resist build which will mean that all the stuns and all the hexes, they won't really last as long anyway.
Seconds remain.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. You will worry about the control early. You've got some really good control here from Among Us, but I think this is one way to down the line just dance around it. We see the SNY build into Satanic, after the Abyssal, just to really pump out the resist. And it is very difficult to play into for Among Us. Um, the one thing here for Among Us is they do have some great spells to steal, so we're gonna have to see just how far Jabs pushes the Rubik. Gonna be aiming for maybe the Soulbind, maybe the tiny spells. The Quap Blink is nice if you do need an early blink without the dagger, or the Roar from the Beastmaster, which is game changing. So that's gonna be it. And the usual Magnus timing, the Life Stealer timing, jungle control gonna be very important, which Neon can kind of fight well into because they've got the Beastmaster with Hawks, they've got the Vision game up, and Among Us they do go with the Ench. So
Make the ultimate
is that a
choice.
is that a core Ench coming out here for Cuckoo?
What if it was a... No, Core
Ooh.
Rubik. Core
Ooh,
Rubik.
that's a yeah. I mean,
love
I've
core
been
Rubik.
asking for core Rubik. I've been asking for it since the talent changes. It's just I was expecting it mid, but it's the off lane Rubik coming out here for Among Us. So it's another great back and forth. Like the Enchantress is there, of course, to steal the Beastmaster Boris. And we've seen that multiple times, right? To ruin the laning of the Beast. This is how you respond. We'll see if Among Us can hit their timings this game. Gonna be an interesting one. It's a very different draft from Among Us. Neon, a bit more straightforward. They're off a high from getting a
10
nice win in game one.
seconds.
We'll see if they can maintain it in game number two.
Certainly so. Speaking of, if you are a Neon fan after that game one, they are on Twitter, so maybe go ahead and give them a follow. Neon Esports Dota is the tag on Twitter. Among Us, unfortunately, don't have one, but you should probably follow all the players separately. They are very talented, obviously. Like I do wonder to myself when we finish every day where these players are going to be going. Like, we know Arbed's part of a team, Savage is going to VG Gaming. What happens to Cuckoo, Jabs, and Whitemon, however, I wonder. Like, which team's going to get lucky enough to pick up these guys? Because they're obviously amazing players. Like, you'd be kind of stupid not to take them right now.
Yeah, and it's the question hanging in the air, right? Once Pro Series S3 is over, I think C is gonna see a little bit of a shuffle once more.
Oh, for sure.
You ice some rosters, Mike, some teams, especially in the groups right now, that aren't doing too well. I think a lot of teams will have some people moving around, so it's gonna be an interesting time right after. And we were already in for an interesting time before. I mean, Geek Fam gone. That's mainly the cause of this. To be quite frank, it's Geek Fam releasing their roster, sort of making these shuffles happen across the team. So it's been an interesting fallout from that. It's really affected that tier 2, tier 1 scene. The lines have blurred a lot from all of these players moving around, and a lot of more teams get to shine, especially here in the group stages. We've seen a lot of upset victories. We've seen some players step up. It's been a really good time.
I think what's happening, John, especially during this pandemic with all these tournaments popping up online, is we're really starting to see the value of the tier 2 scene. And I think it's becoming increasingly obvious that the tier 2 scene has a hell of a lot of players that are kind of really talented, but that haven't been noticed yet. John, what are you laughing about? What are they saying? Give us a translation.
So Scam apologized to Cuckoo because he said Play Hard is pretty big-headed.
Okay.
He's just saying that. Sorry, Cuckoo.
Happy birthday.
And there
Well,
you go.
that's
The
nice.
birthdays are out. There you go.
Well, of course they'd be happy, John. They just, they beat Among Us. Like, it's a big deal to these guys. It should be.
Oh yeah, definitely is. At least they give him a tip.
Yeah,
At least
Well,
Cuckoo
they
has
look
something.
up to these guys, Neon Esports, these players. Of course, they look up to the players in Among Us. So, beating your senior, I guess you want to call it. It's like the more experienced person. It's gotta feel good.
Oh yeah, it's a huge morale boost. I'd call them more like brothers because I think
Brothers,
a lot
right.
of them started around the same time, right? Like Scam's been in for such a long time. We've seen him bounce roster to roster. So it's always fun.
As
see
you
them just kind of
Filipinos would
play
say, beating your lotties, right?
Beating you. Yeah, exactly.
Beating
There
your
you go,
bodies.
Mike. Yeah.
See, I'm
getting-
learning, John.
yeah.
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
be
learning
talking
slowly.
Filipino in no time.
You'll be speaking it better than me, Mike. Still, these lanes, they're breaking out, and we've got a swap out. Skem is on that off lane with John Uel. They're going for an offensive off lane, and top 4 heroes mid, but not going to stay there for long. So they're dragging Whitemon up top along with Cuckoo. So they're swapping along to match the Ursa, and this should be an interesting one. The Ursa up against Rubik. It's been a while since we've seen that poor Rubik, but you can see the aggression. Tri-lane top.
Yeah, they're going to get a kill here. Whitemon has been left alone on that Enchantress. Cuckoo does make his way in. Whitemon trying to get back to his tier 1 tower. He is still alive. The Fairy Fire and Fade Bolt proving to be enough to give Whitemon time. He doesn't exactly have any salves available, but he does have some tangos, and he will be able to stay in the lane.
Yeah, and this is well, not quite the result you want from the trial lane, but they're eventually going to find some space here. I have to note, the Rubik versus Ursa matchup, it's actually pretty hard for Ursa. Look at that base damage. It's 42 to 46. If Cuckoo gets the Fade Bolt off, ooh, you'd struggle to find those last hits here.
That's a very good point, John. We'll see how far Cuckoo can push this, and more importantly, what kind of build Cuckoo goes for in this core Rubik. Still bot lane. There's a bit of a chase right now onto JG. There's your lion out from Jabs, getting an Earth Spike out. Whitemon there as well on the Enchantress now, just rotating down bot. And they are also running a tri-lane up against the Beastmaster of Neon Esports. So they just want to even out these lanes and make sure that, you know, if our safe lane's going to have a tough time, so is yours.
Yeah, you're just looking to apply that pressure. Of course, they might be able to get a kill down the line. I'd say the spike here is probably level 3 for the line. That's where you really get in more value from the Earth Spikes. Or you go with a utility build, 1-1-1, and you can start hammering it in. And you can see JG, he's cut off from that creeper. He's not finding farm. This is a good start for Savage. He doesn't have to deal with a boar spam. And that's exactly what you want. Still, you look down mid. It is the Yapaj lane up against Abed. So it's a Quap versus the Mag. You can see Yapaj pulling slightly ahead. Again, it's favoring the Quap with a range, with the damage you can pump out, but Abed still has some good last hits. You can still go for the creep waves and kind of go for the farm, but it's going to be a lot more passive for Abed than he'd like, as Yapaj should be able to flex his muscles here.
He should, and he has been. Abed trying his best to stay out of range of Yopaj, but Yopaj is really giving it to Abed now, and he might need to be careful. There's a Shadow Strike out. Yopaj does have a blink, but Abed will Fairy Fire and walk away. Play hard. Did come in to try and see if he can get a toss off, but he will not be able to, and for some reason there's a Lion Courier here. Jabs. Gonna make his way in, and he'll just start shuffling.
Yeah, it's an awkward moment for Abed, though, and Tiny Courier as well in toss, but
Jabs does manage to get it. The toss was not going to help too much. Yapaj just unable to help the Courier. We'll be alright with it anyway. Play hard, he'll make his way up top. And the side of Among Us, they are going to keep Jabs here for a little bit to try and help out Abed as they do try for the kill now. A nice skewer back on Yapaj, but he will be able to blink away. Play hard was running back in just in case they needed his help.
you've got the supports clumped up here now. The 4-minute runes are going to be up. You know these two sides are not going to let that go for free to either one.
Well, Yapaj needs it desperately, though. Abed doesn't really require it. He wants to deny it, but Yapaj, oh, he's been hexed up. He's in trouble, and he will go down. First blood will be out to Abed, but now they will switch their attention over to Jabs, get somewhat of a trade, but that is a huge first blood for Among Us.
They're happy with that. Abed gets a bit of a bounce back from that lane. It's been a bit of a struggle, but when you get a kill like that, first blood of all things as well, you're in for a fairly good time. You look down bot, it's still pretty messy for Neon. They've been dragging their supports away, so you've got Playhard standing behind, but Savage is already 5 at 4.5 minutes in. It's another runaway start for Savage. So be careful with how much space you give this guy, because he knows how to use it, and they're already doing a lot of damage on that tier 1.
They are. This is great play out from Among Us. JG going to come back in, but Savage going to get to work now onto the Beastmaster. Whitemon going to come in as well. They'll turn their attention over to Playhard, who does get the avalanche out, but is almost certainly just going to die. And Savage is still looking through that tree line, trying to spot out JG, and they know where he is. They saw the tree go down. JG, he's going to be trapped in the tree line, still trying to just cut his way through, but it is not going to work out for him. Savage is able to take a double, and here come the tips.
Oh boy. Among Us though, this is an excellent start. So the tier 1 bot falls. You don't have a trade coming out for Neon. You look at Cuckoo in the offlane. He's actually level 4. He's got 15 last hits. That is 3 times better than JG's start. So our offlane Rubik, it's not amazing, right? But it's still better than the Beastmaster, and at this point, I think that's what you're looking for Among Us. So JG, he's got to go to the jungle start. It's not going to be a good time when you've lost that tier 1.
Absolutely not. They might start focusing on that tier 1 mid tower now, Among Us. They do have a very, very nice lead at 2k net worth. They also have the RP up now on Abed. He doesn't have much to follow up with that RP in terms of his own damage, but it won't matter if he has his team around him. Yopaj is behind in levels as well, just about to hit that 6 mark. Does have an Arcane Rune bottled up, so is ready to fight now with the Sonic Wave. But it looks like Among Us are just going to split up for now. They'll continue to take over that Radiant jungle and just cut off the farm supply for Neon. And Savage, of course, will just continue to escalate in terms of farm. He is going for that armlet and will have it up very, very soon.
And that's going to enable him to play faster if he wants. I do love what Neon's doing here, though. So they plant some wards in the opposite jungle. Dire jungle is being tracked. That's going to make it a bit harder to get some stacks up for Abed. And that's one thing to watch out for. I think when we've seen Abed on the Magnus, he has been a bit more passive with it. He tends to wait for the Echo Saber blink, as most players do. So I think Among Us, that pacing might just be a bit slower now after that tier 1. Now it's just down to map management. Whitemon staying in that Radiant jungle, clearing out every single camp, so you don't have the options there. Neon, for their part, they have this massive stack in their triangle though. So that's something Among Us has not kept track of. It's going to be a nice boon for Neon, as they should be able to secure that boundary.
Top lane still not really going down here. Among Us doing a good job of defending there with Cuckoo. Of course, the side of Neon are going to have to wait for that next siege creep to be coming out before they do commit to this tier 1 tower. They're still giving a nice bit of time here for Skem to work towards that Battle Fury, and he's getting close enough to at least pick up the Perseverance if he does want. Meanwhile, Abed into the jungle, doesn't really have stacks to take. So he is just going to be relying on stacking himself and try to catch up that way. It is going to be a little bit of a slower game though for Abed. Definitely slower than we've been used to seeing for the past week or so.
It's just the nature of the Magnus, right? Like, you tend to not play too much until you get Echo Blink, and that just means you sit back, you farm, you clear some camps, you take it slow. They do maintain that lead though, and this is enabled by that lead.
Lost back, Cuckoo did steal the Avalanche, but Jab's actually getting a nice stun off, and now the Avalanche coming back in, but Yopaj is going to jump in after the Rubik now, and Cuckoo might drop and does, but Yopaj in danger. Abed has the RP, is going for a double RP and does manage to get it. Very nice patience there from Abed to get the maximum value from his RP. That is very well worth it for the side of Among Us. And there's another tip coming out from Cuckoo.
I mean, Abed, we said he'd be playing slower. We don't tend to see RP opportunities like that, but if it's handed to you, you take them. And that also opens up a bit of a shove down mid. So this mid tier 1, Neon doesn't want to give it up. They've already lost a lot of their jungle. If you lose this as well, you're going to have a hard time finding some recovery.
Savage, Avalanche toss, but play hard, didn't really have the damage. Savage will just play with the armlet and barely avoids the stroke of fate. He will be just fine to get out of there. 3k net worth lead now for Among Us. Looks like they are intending on maintaining that for quite a bit.
Yeah, they're just gonna dip in and out as these ults are ready. The surprising thing is that Jab still doesn't have 6 on the line. That's a key timing for the hero. It's gonna have to buy that book at the 10-minute mark. So you can expect Among Us to have another spike when that's up. They're going to look for an easy pick-off. You do finally have a tower trade from Neon though. Skem does solo the top tier 1, so they buy out some space for themselves. They can easily farm that top jungle if they wanted to now.
Play hard, he'll find Whitemon. Avalanche is there, but Abed is around to help out. And Whitemon's not even going to be in danger. In fact, he's going to turn back around onto play hard. just by himself and see if he can get this kill going. Play Hard does lose most of his HP, but now JG going to show up with the Roar if he does want to commit. And it looks like Whitemon did go a little bit too far and is going to pay for it. Ipaj will give him the whip.
It's a nice, easy pick-off. I think at some point Whitemon just decided to focus on the boars. Get some last hits because he knew he was going to be punished. So he's trying to get value there, but you're not going to be upset about that if you're Neon. It's a free kill. Still, you see Among Us grouping up. Mid-tier 1 is the next objective they want. They're going to try to push it through. They've got the finger on Jabs, but he's not around to use it.
No, he's not. Looks like they will defend the tier 1 mid for now, but it does take quite a bit of damage. The siege creep, of course, can't be left alive too long. Again, all this time is giving more time to Skem, right? And that's the one thing. He almost has that Battle Fury up. Once you have that going, your farm really starts to escalate, and it might be a little bit hard for Savage to keep up in terms of farm with his own itemization where he has gone for the armlet into the Heaven's Halberd. Now, naturally, that Halberd's going to be very effective up against the Ursa, but you've got to wonder whether Skem can become a real powerhouse later on.
He can. I think the key thing is that Neon will have to stall longer beyond a Battle Fury. So we're talking about Abyssal, we're talking about an MKB, and perhaps a Satanic as well, just to get more stat padding, more resist padding there.
Could be in
And
trouble.
once you reach that point, could be
Scam.
big, although.
He knows Jabs is right behind him. He's going to go for a run now in the tree line. Can he juke them out? Arbet going to break the trees, and Skem, he is trapped up, and that's going to be a nice big kill. Jabs will give him the finger, and does get +1 charge on the finger damage.
Yeah, it's always a good time. They do manage to also clear out that mid-tier 1 while they were going for that kill. So a lot of value with Among Us for that movement. Are carving control here on the map. Neon, not going to be too happy. You talked about it, but they are putting a lot of pressure onto Skem to really be that big farming core. He does have the Battle Fury up, so he can start to play in the safe part of the jungle, just farm efficiently into the S and Y here for the Ursa. And once you've got that, that's a bit more stat resist. But Among Us, they're also progressing nicely in their farm. They are maintaining the 4K lead. Savage's Heaven's Halberd is going to be up soon. Abed, he's got the Echo Saber, so it's just the Blink left. And once you have that Blink in the Magnus, you're going to be hunting down bigger team fights. You will want to apply even more pressure with the Blink RP up.
Abed's just going to focus on farming it up for now. Jabs looks like he's just going for the Aether Lens on the line, so he just wants the range. I love the fact that Jabs hasn't skilled up Mana Drain on the line this game. Just,
Yeah.
you know, every pub player always goes for Mana Drain. You know, it just feels so good to drain mana off your enemy, but Jabs, he knows the value of the Hex and the Earth Spike. It's what really makes the line broken as Play Hard. Down at the top lane, Arbit, just killing off the solo Tiny by himself.
I mean, he used the RP, but, you know, you weren't going to use it until the Blink anyway. So Abed just takes the freebie and just kind of builds up. So he's just about 700 off that Blink. But you see Neon, they are smoked up here.
They are.
There is little hope.
To Whitemon. Ipaj with the Invis rune just going to follow. Sonic Wave going to be committed, but Savage is willing to fight back. But there's your roar out now from JG. Savage still low, but is going to be able to run away to the Infest target of Cuckoo. And now they turn around. Cuckoo, he stole the roar. They want to keep fighting, but it was a great avalanche in from Playhard, stopping the chase. But now Ipaj is in big trouble. He can't blink away. He does go down. Still Skem going after 23. Savage does get the life stealer. So it's a 2-for-2 trade, but Skem doesn't want to die like this. However, he does. Cuckoo now with the stolen Earth Shock getting the kill, and they do make it a 2-for-3 trade. That will be favoring Among Us as they continue. On to the Grimstroke now, and Wyman will just laugh. It's a slow process, but they will get him.
That's a big win for Among Us. You're not happy about losing Savage, but Cuckoo Rubik with a big steal. It's like that roar. setting up the counter fight. Scam overextending and getting punished. I mean, he's strong with that Battle Fury, but it's not like he's insanely strong yet. So you have to temper that aggression back just a notch. And Abed, well, he's flying out that blink. He's gonna have the RP up in 20. Among Us could look for something to happen here, as they want to reveal that blink RP soon.
There's a smoke up from Neon. This could be really poor timing from them. They don't have the Orc up yet on your Page, and Abed, like you said, has the blink and RP up. They're gonna run in as 4, and they'll spot Savage. They don't know where Abed is at the moment, however. This could be a big RP. Savage, he's dropping low, but Abed's coming in for the 4-man RP, and the damage is gonna come in now with the shockwave, with the finger. Oh, it's a disaster. Neon. They didn't see Abed. Oh, and he cleans him up. He sends him to the bin, John.
Yeah, Among Us. That is just everything you'd want in a reveal. Like that is the blink reveal every Magnus player dreams about. Savage counting his lucky stars on the edge, but Abed just in the nick of time making that dramatic entrance, and all of a sudden Among Us 10k lead, Mike. That blink RP reveal, you know, that's gonna put a damper here for Neon. That means they really need to build that farm up in Scam, hold off on the aggression with the Ursa, keep clearing some camps out, build some stacks up in the safe areas of the map, and rush into that Sanj, into the Sanj and Yasha. Just get the stat resist up, and then maybe you can hold off on the control, and bounce back in with that Ursa.
It's looking bad though, John. A 10k net worth lead is hard to come back from in your Page. He still just doesn't have that Orchid up. It's might be on the courier now, and it is indeed. It's just such a slower process than Among Us. Man, they're really not playing games this game number 2, I'll tell you.
No. It's they flick their switch on, serious mode. They're smoked up as well, and try to find more.
Scam.
Oh,
Gonna run
Scam.
straight into the biggest target. Scam doesn't want to die like this, but he gets hexed up by jabs. Can't even enrage. Does go down, and they want more. Onto your Page. Savage, he'll just taste down Play Hard instead. They know the Tiny's in the tree somewhere. They even get your Page's courier now. There's Play Hard. He does get picked off, and he will die. 12k net worth lead now for Among Us.
Oh man, yeah. Cuckoo. Every single spell he steals is the exact one he'd want. Just making a lot of work happen with Rubik, which is finding everything across the
Oh,
map.
they found another. Daniel gonna go down godlike now for Abed. He is 9-0-7. Play Hard, he's just laughing, and yeah, what did you expect from Abed? That is the right question to ask.
Yeah, it's looking a bit difficult now, but you know, 12k, this is something that Neon could probably still play into. I think you really have to watch Scam's positioning here. He does have the Yasha. It's going to go into the SNY. They get a nice courier. So that's the Yasha of SavageCon. Going to stall off the timing into the Manta. So you're buying yourself a little bit more time there. But Among Us, they've been fighting without the RP. It's back up for Abed. So they might just look for a play. Perhaps just wait for the BKB first from him. And it's not going to take too long when you've got him powered.
A lot of farming to be done for Neon. They cannot fight back with this net worth disadvantage, and it does mean they have to sit back and just try and hit creeps. They have a 2% chance of winning this game, apparently, which is, you know, 19 minutes in, that's not going to feel very good for the side of Neon, but I'm sure they are well aware of how behind they are. Just a matter of finding the space to get that farm up. You need these BKBs on your Page. Scam, I don't even know what he's going to go for next, but he needs something. The Battle Fury Yasha is just not enough. And speaking of BKBs, Abed has one up now on the mag. So suddenly he just doesn't care for your magic damage. They've smoked up. Among Us, they want to go.
Oh.
John Yuel going to break the smoke there. Savage, he'll just get the drums going from Cuckoo and just rush him. Grimstroke cannot do anything to avoid this. He has no choice but to just die. And that is what will happen. At least the rest of the team does survive.
You'll cop the gank for your team here. You're pretty happy about that. You do manage to hit another timing for Neon. There's a blink up and play hard. And this is that was the item that gave the turnaround there, although
Paj gonna catch out Cuckoo, but Jabs is around the corner, and Paj gonna just back off. He did see Jabs take the invis rune. They had a ward watching that, and he must know Jabs is still chasing him down. JG is around the corner to help on the Beastmaster, just in case anyway, so he'll be right. Get out of range. That will mean Cuckoo does survive on the Rubik.
it's a pretty nice win for Among Us. Not even being able to pick that off and skim.
Be alright. Abed goes for the RP, gets two of them, and now brings them back, delivers them with the finger out. Play hard, try to get in for the Avalanche. He'll be the third one to go down. Yopaj is trying onto Cuckoo. He'll get one, but Savage is now just going onto that Queen of Pain. Yopaj, he was about to blink out, but Jabs, he had the range with the Earth Spike. It's a 4-for-1 trade. Tips are coming out. Yopaj will give one back to Cuckoo. It's complete domination now from Among Us.
Yeah,
Has been for the last 10 minutes.
It's the Abed delivery service. You know, he goes in, drags them up, and everyone says thank you. Give a nice tip to Abed for that, as Tier 2 gone. 16k lead now, Mike. You were talking about the progress here for Scam. I mean, he's still saving up for the SNY. I thought it was done because he DQ'd it, but it's not done. He needs to finish that first. And they just need to play safe here. Neon, you do not want to force any fights, especially big 5v5. You can maybe find pickoffs, but you cannot take bigger engagements. If you do, you have to play with Play Hard's Blink, but that Roche, it's not going to last too long here from Among Us.
Roshan is going. They need to fight ASAP, but they've been scanned out. Roshan still very, very low, but Abed's going to pop out now. Skem, he'll start the fight, and they are into the pit, but the Aegis does go to Savage. Whitemon does die, and Yopaj is very, very low. He needs to blink out. Savage going to go onto the Ursa now. Tossed in by Cuckoo. Back onto that Ursa. Skem trying to kite him out, just can't. Yopaj back in with the Sonic Wave. No, he doesn't even have it yet. They'll go back onto the Ursa, but Abed delivering the service once again, straight to Savage. There's your products, and that'll be Savage getting a double kill now as Yopaj trying to run, but he cannot. He will have a blink, but Jabs again with the Hex, just in the nick of time. And Abed, the delivery man, he strikes again, John.
Oh boy, it's
an
getting
express
hard for
service
Neon.
today.
That it is. Just on point delivery. It's pizza time, says Habit, and he just hands it in on the dot. Neon, tough spot now. They've still got the Aegis up. Skem, he's been forced to join his team so many times. He just needs to sit back and farm, but now, with no outer towers, there's no safe space. So Neon, you've got to find a way to carve out some vision on the back, try to toss Skem very far away. Maybe the dire jungle, if you can sneak into it, is somewhere he can play. He does have the SNY up. That's not going to be enough. Not at the 19k deficit. He needs more to start pouring in. He is queuing up the Satanic and the BKB. So once one of those is up, perhaps you have an opportunity there.
Into the high ground, it seems. Among Us, 19k net worth lead. It's a very, very tough kind of high ground to defend right now if you are Neon. They've got to give it a crack. Among Us waiting for that right timing. You've always got to be worried about that RP attempt from Abed. He's waiting for that right moment. He doesn't want just one. I'm sure he wants multiple. They are remaining split up. That melee barracks, however, is going down. They're going for the soul bind, but now the Hex out from Jabs onto the Tiny. Playhard was trying to get the toss back with the soul bind, but now the skewer back is going to be there on Skem. He's in the middle of nowhere. He's got help coming in, however. There's your Avalanche. There's your Sonic Wave out from Yopaj, hitting everybody but Skem. He is already down. Now the bash is around. That'll be Yopaj going down as well. And the chase is on. Abed, still with the RP available, does commit it now onto two heroes. Are you kidding me, he says, as they take him out, and the GG is called. And that'll be a 1-to-1, tips all around. What a great series between these two.
Oh man, Neon, they brought the fight out in game 1. Among Us, they turn around in game 2, dominant fashion. They clean up drawn series. Still a very strong showing from Neon, but Among Us, they do manage to salvage that out. They don't drop a series, still maintain that. But Neon, I'm sure that, they play their hearts out in game one. Game number two, not quite lining up. Scam just not getting the space to farm up, unfortunately, and is punished. Among Us, well, that's the form we're used to seeing from them. Abed just delivering the pizzas, Mike.
Absolutely. And all props to both teams, by the way. I mean, Neon obviously very proud of themselves for taking that game one up against Among Us. And Among Us, again, 14 game win streak without dropping one on basically no notice. Just forming a team and making it work. Very impressive from both teams. And I think everyone should be happy today. Still, Execration is going to be up against TNC for our next series, John. And right now, Execration doesn't really have much to be happy about. They're in the lower side of the group stage, sitting at 8th place. Basically, they are going to be knocked out if they don't start getting some wins, and they only have 2 series left. So we'll see if they can take this series off TNC to try to get some points on the board. Because if they can win, they will overtake 0-3-2, and that will give them an 8th place spot for sure, whereas right now they are just tied in the 8th place spot. So we'll see what happens. It's MLP Dota and Jonix Fire. We'll see you all again in about 10 minutes for some more great SEA Dota. We'll see you then.